The West Virginia Mountaineers are your 2026 college basketball crown champions, and that feels good. We're going to talk about all that means on this episode of Mountaineer Moment.
This is the Mountaineer Moment, your source for all things West Virginia football and basketball. From pregame to postgame coverage and breaking news, we've got you covered. Let's go.
Welcome in, everybody, to episode 179 of Mountaineer Moment. My name's Troy, and this is your source for all things West Virginia football and basketball. And this one is going to be a fun one, episode 179 again, man. Mountaineers are college basketball crown champions. They knock off the Oklahoma Sooners in a back-and-forth, thrilling overtime win for West Virginia. And we're going to get into quite a few things in this episode. Recapping the game, of course, we'll take a dive into the box score. I'm going to just talk about some takeaways that we get overall from the experience in the Crown in Las Vegas, what it meant to the players from what we can tell. Talking about the money that they earned, the matchups that West Virginia had from soup to nuts, man. We're going to talk about the college basketball crown and my initial takeaways to that. Obviously a little biased because you won the tournament, and so that helps with how you feel about that. I want to give you, toward the middle of the episode, what I think is the most important takeaway, most important thing that we can glean from this Mountaineer victory. Might not necessarily be what you're thinking, but I'm going to say what I think is the most important thing that we can take away. We're going to talk about Huff's incredible performance against Oklahoma. 8 threes, 38 points. Most points since 2009 for a West Virginia player. I think that was Deshaun Butler against Villanova when he had 43 back in the day, man. That was an incredible performance too. We'll talk about that. And then just, again, analyzing this game, which is where we'll start. But before we get into that, man, we would love for you to join Mountaineer Moments by subscribing to this channel, man. We're continuing to grow and to build. This show started at the beginning of football season in 2025, and here we are, a few short months later, concluding the West Virginia basketball season. So full-on coverage of both of these West Virginia football and basketball programs for each for a season, and looking forward to what the offseason is going to hold, man. We're going to keep plugging away here on Mountaineer Moment, and we would love for you to join this thing, man. And a subscription, you subscribing right here, right now, would mean a lot to me as we continue to grow this channel. And I'll start, before I even talk about the game, I do want to just kind of ride through with that point. And my last point on the outline, if you're watching on YouTube, is just a thank you. So if you've been here on Mountaineer Moment any amount of time, man, I want to extend a thank you to you. Thank you so much for making it your first listen or your eighth listen or your listen when there's nothing else to watch. I don't know. But I don't really care. Again, if you're here and you're taking the time to even leave a comment or drop a like, leave a rating, whatever it is, man, I appreciate it. So this is pretty cool because, again, this is officially one full season of football, one full season of basketball in the books, and 179 episodes devoted to those two sports over the course of one season of each. So that's pretty remarkable stuff too. So thank you for continuing to support Mountaineer Moment. If you're new, I ask that you would start and continue to support Mountaineer Moment through the off season. And we're going to have lots of transfer portal discussion. We're going to have an episode coming out real soon talking about Miles Sadler and what he was just accomplished in his high school career. He's coming to Morgantown Sioux on the hardwood, so we're looking forward to having him. But there'll be plenty to talk about. So stick around for Mountaineer Moment through the next few months as we count down to kickoff now for West Virginia football. But all that aside, West Virginia just won a championship in basketball with Ross Hodge, first-year head coach, knocks off Oklahoma, the first team left out of the NCAA tournament. West Virginia beats him in overtime 89-82. And again, that just feels really good. What a performance. What a game. Honor Huff and, several guys got off to a hot shooting night. Eagle staff made a couple threes. DJ Thomas made a three early. Jasper Floyd, we'll talk about what he did late in this game. But West Virginia made 15 threes. 8 of those were Honor Huff. who had an incredible game, 38 points, 9 of 19, 8 of 15 from 3, 12 of 12 from the free throw line. And he needed all of that, man, and had a big performance from Chance Moore off the bench. And, it's kind of interesting. We if you were here for the pregame coverage on Mountaineer Moment talking about this Oklahoma game, I was kind of hinting at the thought that maybe you need a guy to really take the reins and go off, because we've seen some balance, which is never a bad thing, right? We've seen guys stepping up in different moments, but maybe you needed a guy to go for 30 plus. And I didn't say it exactly like that, but you just had Honor Huff go for 38 points. And it was a hot start and a hot finish for Honor Huff, right? Missed some shots in the middle there, right? He made his first 5 threes, and so only made 3 of his last 10. But to have the game that he had, you needed it for the Mountaineers, right? Mountaineers had a huge lead in the first half, 15, but then at halftime, you're down by 4. Oklahoma extended that lead out to 12. They were up, 7-8 with 3-4 minutes to go. We've seen that movie before a few times this season for West Virginia, and you can't count them out. They've proven that. And they went out, finished the regulation strong, started OT poorly, and then picked things up from there, and then won this one going away, 89-82, after just big-time shots by Honor Huff and Jasper Floyd, and then getting to the free throw line and knocking them down, and you win the game. And this really was a great championship game. Both teams wanted it, right? An additional $200K on the line, with the winner of this one bringing home $300K and the loser bringing home $100K. But it was a great college basketball game to watch, and for these players, man, had to feel good. West Virginia has 5 seniors in their starting lineup. And Chance Moore, their 6th man off the bench, like 6 guys right there, boom, 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 like, which is it's crazy to think like West Virginia's going to be like featuring a whole new starting lineup next year. But for these seniors to go out this way is massive. And to give a little bit more, just context and weight to what this game looked like, again, it was a comeback for West Virginia, engineered by strong defensive play, engineered by great play from Brennan Lorient, 15 points, 6 of 8 from the floor, 8 boards. Chance Moore off the bench in 32 minutes had 19, 10 boards, another double-double in Las Vegas. He was 7 of 8 from the field. He had 3 steals. He had a block. Belo had 3 blocks. Harlan Obioha, I think the number Ross Hodge gave postgame, even though Obioha only had 2 points, he was like plus 35 when he was on the court or something crazy, which obviously includes that hot start that West Virginia had, and then the comeback, and then OT. Like, go figure, that number might be right for West Virginia, just a 7-point victory. He was 30 plus for the night. Eagle staff made a couple threes. Jasper Floyd with timely buckets, right? West Virginia, and we've seen this movie before too. West Virginia, heads to overtime, and there was a game. Yeah, it was, and I remember talking about it. West Virginia was squarely on the bubble. You remember that game against Oklahoma State on the road. That game goes to overtime, and how does overtime start? With a 7-point spurt from Oklahoma State. And I remember post-game saying after that game, like, you allow an opposing team to go on a 7-0 run to start overtime, there's a pretty good chance you're going to lose that game. So that was against the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Against the Oklahoma Sooners, West Virginia got down 6 in overtime. And again, kind of the same thing. Like, that's not a great position to be in, because it's only a 5-minute period, and you start down 6-0, that ain't good. West Virginia found themselves in that situation, and Honor Huff makes a 3. Jasper Floyd makes a 3. It's a tie game. I think it was the opposite order, but I think Honor Huff shot tied it. And then Jasper Floyd hits another three late shot clock where I think it was Nigel Pack on him and just buried one from the top of the key. And those were his only 2 buckets of the game. A 3-pointer to cut the lead to 3, and then a 3-pointer to give you a lead of 3 points in overtime. And they never looked back, right? Oklahoma didn't score, beyond that. And so it was 76 all. Heading into overtime, it's 82-76 in favor of Oklahoma. And what does West Virginia do? They end the game on a 13-0 run, 89-82, and that's the ball game. There were three threes, and I think it was 4 free throws that did Oklahoma in. And, I mean, speechless now. I mean, that was a way to pull it out, a way to step up and get the job done. And again, just offensive numbers, and we talked about it again after the Creighton game. That was West Virginia's, best looking offense we've seen all season. Certainly, once you started playing power conference opponents, West Virginia's offense didn't look like that. And I had my doubts that West Virginia's offense could put back-to-back games together in back-to-back days. Well, they kind of did, right? Again, a lot of that's heightened by Honor Huff doing what he did, but you made 15 of 33 from downtown. That's 45%. You shot it pretty efficiently overall, 47%. You made 18 of 23 free throws for 78%. And so far and away, your best back-to-back offensive performances came in Las Vegas, your last 2 games of the season. And that's great, right? Now, again, there's going to be someone, and, even in my own head, obviously it's coming to my thought process right now, but man, can you imagine if we did that in December and January and February? If we had offense like that, yeah, and you're allowed to get better as a team, and you're allowed to go through struggles, and all in all, we shouldn't grow frustrated with the fact that they didn't do that earlier. We should be encouraged by the fact that at the end of the season, in a tournament where you can win money and you go out and you play for free, you have fun, West Virginia put on a show offensively over the course of their time in Las Vegas. And what do? They win the tournament, which I think speaks to the fact of just how much good offense for West Virginia, not just in Vegas, but all season. Good offense helps this defense out a ton, right? Ross Hodge, defensive-minded coach, hangs his hat on that side of the floor. And, man, I'm here to tell you, you look at Oklahoma's numbers in a normal West Virginia offensive game, you don't give West Virginia a chance based on what Oklahoma did. They shot at 53% from the field. They made 40% of their threes. They made 10 of 12 from the free throw line. So 50, 40, and 80%, right? We talk about 50, 40, 90 guys and how rare that is in, the college ranks and the NBA. Well, they were 53, 40, and 83, and you beat them. West Virginia has had, games where they've held opponents to poor shooting, and you lost because you couldn't make shots either. This shows growth in a team. And now, again, this is the last game of the year. And so we don't know, what this team would look like 10 games from now, right? Because there's not 10 games from now. This is done. This season's over. We will never see this version of Mountaineer basketball again. So, kind of stinks, right, in that regard, because you're playing so well, and you are. But you proved some things in Vegas, man. One, obviously you belonged in this tournament because you won the thing. You beat an Oklahoma team who thought they should have been in the NCAA tournament. You beat a Creighton team with Greg McDermott in his last game coaching. You beat a Stanford team with the future NBA draft pick in Okori, and you came from behind in that game too. And so, man, it feels good to win 3 games in Vegas. And cut down the nets and win a tournament. You won a championship in year 1 with Ross Hodge. Sure, it's not March Madness. Sure, it's not the Big 12 tournament. But where I want to go with that overarching point is to this point I was alluding to earlier. The most important takeaway that we can have from this West Virginia victory in the college basketball crown is 100,000% for these players and Ross Hodge to just feel really good for them. Period. Right? We'll talk about some other takeaways, some byproducts from winning this college basketball crown, but number one by a mile is just number one takeaway, and what you should feel right now is just you should feel happy for these players, these seniors, this coaching staff, with the ups and downs of this season, with the criticisms, the lack of offense, the lack of consistency, the losing games you thought you should have won, and you go back to, well, you had matchups with Utah and Kansas State, and you lost those ones, and that is what left you on the outside looking in at the NCAA tournament. Oklahoma State and TCU, and there's also in the non-conference slate that you played, there's all sorts of things we can go back to and go oh man, if they just did this, if they just did that, they would have made the NCAA tournament. Well, with all of that, right now, just feel happy for these guys. And you could tell from the moment the crown tipped off, there was a different swagger, different pep in their step, different thing. I think it was a lot of just not feeling the pressure, and they were playing free and going to still play smart basketball, but going to win, but also just playing the game that they want to play. And you saw that in Eagle staff, who played pretty well in Vegas. You saw that in Obi-Oha at times, who played really well. Belo, really, really good. Chance Moore, 2 double-doubles. Honor Huff, 38 points in the championship game. DJ Thomas with a dominant performance against Creighton. There was these guys, all of them had opportunities to step up. Jasper Floyd hadn't scored in regulation, then 2 major threes to win you the game against Oklahoma. This is awesome stuff. And right now, the most important thing, the primary takeaway, is to just feel happy for those guys, to feel happy for Coach Hodge. Year one, right? It's 21 wins for this Mountaineer team. You finished the season 18-14, and you win 3 in Vegas to give you 21 wins in your first season, where you formed a team together out of the transfer portal, 5 seniors in the starting lineup. 2 of those you brought with you from North Texas. The other ones not coming from power conference schools. Trayson Eaglestaff comes from North Dakota. Honor Huff from Chattanooga. Harlan Obi-Oha from UNC Wilmington. And you win a postseason tournament. You finish in the top half of the Big 12. Right? We did all this at the end of the regular season for West Virginia too, with Ross Hodge's report card. And I mean, it obviously only improved with these 3 wins. And so happy, super pumped for Ross Hodge. And again, it's not a slight to these guys in any way, shape, or form. But even Honor Huff said it post game when he was interviewed by Christina Pink. Man, he was like, a lot of us were under recruited, undervalued, under this. Obviously coming from smaller schools, and well, look what Coach Hodge was able to do with these guys. And how do you not feel super, super stoked for them to end their college basketball careers with some extra money in their pocket and champions of the college basketball crown with an overtime cover behind victory? That's awesome. Period. And that needs to be our most important takeaway. Some other follow-up takeaways that I'll throw at you, man. I think the players, number one, again, relating to just the players and being there, obviously Vegas does a great job. You see even on Instagram, these guys promoting whatever it was, the energy performance drink or something. I forget the brand now, that was obviously partnering with the college basketball crown. I saw Jasper Floyd made a video. I think Belo made a video. Couple other guys made some videos, and you see some guys just on other schools making videos promoting something. Obviously they got a little pay for that little NIL deal with the college basketball crown. Winning $300,000 ain't too shabby either. So I think it's a great event. The players got up for it, and it's a great, obviously, place to play it in Las Vegas. And it's quick, right? You got 3 weeks off. This thing tipped off on Wednesday. West Virginia played Thursday, and it's done by Sunday. National championships on Monday, and then it's into the off season and transfer portal and all that. But I just think it's a great event. And, would I have followed the college basketball crown very closely if West Virginia didn't get that come from behind victory against Stanford? No. Would I have been saying the same things? I don't know. But the players seem to enjoy it. Ross Hodge seems to like it too, and obviously when you win it, feels really good. It feels really good, and so that's takeaway number one is just, in addition to just being happy for these players, they seem to be happy to be there and to compete and to go win. Again, a great event with some other power conference schools that you were able to go into battle with. Again, second thing that I kind of just mentioned already, just with how quick you're able to do it, right? It's not a tournament that drags on. A lot of the concern was like, well, it's not March Madness, but who's out recruiting? Who's out doing this and that? Well, it's only a few days. And you get to spend it with your guys if you're head coach Ross Hodge. And, he was able to play 3 more games with them and win 3 more games, which is really cool too. So those are just some other kind of generic takeaways from the crown, but it's a great event. And then I guess the last takeaway, our goal, Ross Hodge's goal, nobody's goal is to go and be repeat champions of the college basketball crown, right? Like there is levels to this thing, right? You want to make the NCAA tournament. You don't want to necessarily be in the college basketball crown, considering the year that West Virginia had, and they were on the outside looking in at the tournament field, and they said yes to signing up for playing a few more games, and they went and won the thing, and that's amazing. That's great. But our goal in 2027 is not to be here again, right? It's not to be here again. We want to be in the big dance and making a run, making a push in that. But, that just kind of puts some things in perspective because while it's a trophy, it's a championship, it's money, it's this, it's that, it's publicity, it's, 3 straight wins, it's not the ultimate goal. Now, the ultimate goal after the regular season ended and you knew you weren't making the NCAA tournament was if you get in another postseason tournament, go win the thing. And you did that. You knocked it out of the park. You finished and completed your goal of winning a postseason tournament. Way to go. Seriously, way to go. And again, happy for these players, happy for these coaches. And again, I'll just say, big giant thank you as this officially wraps it up, man. Wraps up an entire basketball season here on Mountaineer Moment. We've given every single game. Go fact check me. Go look back. We're talking Mount St. Mary's, Campbell, Lehigh. We were here. We were here covering that pregame and postgame coverage every single game. And I thank you for being along with me for the journey, and we're not going anywhere anytime soon. But this is episode 179. Hope you'll come back to continue the conversation. The next episode is going to be focused on Miles Sadler and just what he accomplished and how we're so looking forward to seeing him in the Gold and Blue in Morgantown. So check that episode out. But again, a big giant thank you. This is year 1